Hi guys, this is Mark from Omnivore's Homestead. A lot of you guys have got a lot of questions lately about what I'm shooting and how I'm shooting. What I've got here is my Centaur longbow. This is custom built by Jim Neves. It's a reflex deflex. I'm only shooting 50 pounds at 28 inches, but I'm actually a little bit shorter of a draw. So one of my favorite things about it right here is the hand grip. A lot of you guys don't want to torque the rise or anything like that. I'm not using this as a grip. I'm using it to make sure my hand position is constantly the same. What I do is I grab the bow, I give it a squeeze, and then I relax my hand, but I know that my hand position is right there every single time. So here's my cream puff. I know you guys are thinking I'm crazy. This is a Centaur battle axe. I mean, need I say more? I mean, the thing is huge. I was intimidated by it when I first got it from Jim. I'm like, what's this guy thinking? You know, I'm throwing a spear at this thing. They fly real straight. It's a 225 grain head. Now, I'm down here in the south. My pigs, my deer, they want to jump that string real bad. So I'm breaking the rules again. I'm running a, 6.8 grain per inch arrow, roughly 30-inch arrow, maybe 29 or so, in a 480 spine. With that 225 up front, I bare shaft flat, and I mean completely flat, no tail dance, no nothing. And that's why I'm able to shoot such a big head. Here comes the next controversial part. See that? You guys are thinking I'm nuts. I said the same thing. A lot of you guys have been talking about this, the two Fletch, you know, what's the benefit of it? I was scared, you know, I was worried, you know, I don't have clean form, I don't have a clean release sometimes, so every little bit helps when we start throwing a 3 Fletch and say 5-inch. I switched to this. There's no difference whatsoever. They're flying straight, I'm bare shafted, I'm beautiful on it. But here's the advantage. When I go to knock my arrow, no matter how I knock this arrow, my broadhead is perfectly indexed. I like my broadhead horizontal. So I don't have to think about which feather is going to go out anymore. I could turn it this way, it's perfect. I could turn it again, it's perfect. Also, if you look down the riser, I'm not going to have any shelf contact. There's no chance of shelf contact whatsoever, especially if you're tuned properly. So that eliminates another thing. You know, a lot of you guys might be doing this, might turn your arrow a little bit thinking, oh, it's contacting, it's contacting. This eliminates the problem. We pick up feet per second. How much? I really don't know how much we're picking up. But the advantages alone, just the way it was already, sure, we're going to get a little bit faster. We're saving money too. That's pretty important. So let's pop a shot right now. I'm going to show you this flight. Steven's going to film right over my shoulder so you can see we're only 10 yards away. Well, let's be realistic here. It's a longbow, guys. We're not shooting out 40, 50, 60. We do this because we like it and we know we can get close to animals. So let's let her fly, and I'm going to dull up my broadhead. Then I'll show you how to sharpen them. Little low. All right, guys, I got one more thing I want to show you with this broadhead right here. This is a single bevel head. And for you guys, some of you guys are going to know, some of you guys don't. Single bevel is one side of the broadhead is cut, more extreme than the other. The back side right here just has a quick little hit on it, and that's it, just to get it sharp. So in theory, these heads are supposed to go in and turn. So what's the benefit? For example, I hit a pig a few weeks ago. When it hit a rib, with a standard broadhead, it's going to try to mash through it and just powerhouse right through it. Instead, with that single bevel, it hits and it turned and it went clean through instead of trying to mash through. So they actually make an S shape when you shoot them into a target. You could see the turn on the target when you shoot it. So I'm going to pop a shot, and Steven's going to show you guys up close what it looks like right afterwards. It's really cool how it turns. So we're close right now. My target's a little beat up. I shoot a lot more than anybody else I know. So we're just going to put it in the somewhat clean spot on the target that hasn't been shot before, which is not much. So here we go, just nice and close. All right, let's go check this out. Look at the shape of that. I know, Steven, you've never seen this. See how it makes that little S? It actually turns as it goes in with that single bevel. They're hard to sharpen though, guys. I'm not gonna lie, especially these concave heads. Right there. Little there, little there. Pretty neat, huh? And you could actually feel, as you pull it out, you could feel it turning. Look at that. All right, guys, for those of you that really want to try this, I got a lot of questions in the past couple months about how to actually Fletch. I mean, it's actually stupidly simple. So this is actual one that's done. So I'm going to put it in just to use as an example, as a reference. So I'm using a cheap Grayling jig. Blitzenberger would be awesome. Not all of us can go out and buy one of those. They're expensive. They're beautiful though. This thing is like 25 bucks on Amazon. It's cheap. It's plastic. You know, does it have all the horns and whistles? No, but it gets the job done. Especially because we're not even going to use half of the stuff that it actually does. Put my feather in, obviously with some glue, and then slide her on. Voila, feather's done. Now instead of turning the knob like we were going to do a 3 Fletch, don't touch the knob, guys. Grab your arrow, turn it 180 degrees, put it back into the notch. Ta-da! You're exactly 180 degrees across. Put your next feather on, little glue, you're done. Doesn't get any easier than that, and it's perfect every single time. I run a pretty decent helical on here. I was told that I don't need to be too aggressive with it. I just did because that's what this one is set up for. I've got a real extreme right helical on it. All right, let's get sharpening these things. All right, guys, we're all set with the Fletch. I'm all done. So they're glued up. One thing that I left out before, I love the Fletch also because I can lay them flat. They lay flat in my quiver. I can set them down anywhere. I don't have to worry about damaging that third feather. So they're all set. Let's get to the fun part. Duller than my ex-girlfriend's personality. We don't know which one, at least. Sorry. So I've been shooting the heck out of these things, so they're dull. I've given up on trying to sharpen every single day. If you go on the computer, on Facebook, Bow Hunters America, Traditional Archery, any of them, there's going to be a question about how do I get my broadhead sharpened. I've given up. Turns out most of those posts were me because I can't do it. I spent 4 hours on one of the old school Zwickies and I just couldn't do it. So Jim sent me a sharpening wheel. I didn't know how to really use it. I have no clue what I was doing. So he explained it to me on the phone, and pretty much this is a 80 grit or 100 grit, I can't remember, sandpaper on a paper wheel. Okay, so he's putting a little bit of wax on it to slow it down. So it's still aggressive, but not so aggressive that it's just gonna eat this thing down and turn it into like a 200 grain broadhead instead of 225. So you go from that wheel, then over to this one. All of this is cardboard. I'm like, what the heck am I gonna do with a piece of cardboard? Turns out it's the same thing as a stropping leather from a barber shop. You remember when he goes, ah, da, 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 with the razor? That's what you're using the cardboard for, but we're using a little bit of polishing rouge or jeweler's rouge on it. And what that does is it really finishes it off. So I'm gonna do one side quick for you guys just so you can see. It's easy, especially with these concave heads. I can't do any other system to do a concave head. So here we go. Like I said, nice and dull. Really got to get these angles correct. On the single bevel, you can't be off. You'll end up eating it in and you'll be annoyed. So just following that with a nice, steady angle. Did it right on the first try. Let's do one more on it. Pretty good. So single bevel broadhead. We just did one side right now because that's the main side. We still have to hit the back side. A lot of people think you don't sharpen the back side. You still do. The catch is with these, you want the most extreme angle possible. You're doing it right if you're almost hitting the ferrule on the back side. So let's do one quick swipe on that. It doesn't take much. Now I can feel that burr right now. You know you did it right when you could feel the burr. So let's go over to the polishing side. Same thing. Give a little inspection. She looks nice. Same thing, backside, extreme angle. And I mean extreme. That's it. Do the hair test. I have like no hair left on my arm because I've sharpened everything I own in my house now. Look at that pop. All right, here's a hairy spot. Ready? Seconds. What do we do that in 30 seconds? I spent 4 hours on my broadheads before. It works. It's the only thing that works. I mean, I heard good things about one other sharpener. I don't want to mention names, but this is just too easy. I did a machete the other day and practically shaved my legs like I was going to join one of those little fashion model shows. So thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to check out Jim at centaurarchery.com.